Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. We are here with the second college football playoff rankings. This one will be a lot faster than the last one because we're not reviewing their whole season up till now. We're really just reviewing the last week and where they've moved. So let's get into it. I guess better look at this. We had number 25, Washington. They are 7-2. They are appearing in the ranking compared to last week.
For the first time.
Yep.
And that was because they beat Oregon State, so
Yeah, I say some of these I
that's
don't
the
know
winner of
quite.
the
I wish it
beaters.
like have a little thing like the AP one does of like what did they do to get in?
Yeah.
Because the AP one had that and it was really nice. Number 24, Kentucky. They're 6-3. They are back in it. At six and
Did they
three.
come into it? Were
Yeah,
they
yeah, they came
unranked?
in.
Okay, so they just got back in after a win against Missouri by 4, a
Okay.
bad Missouri
Yeah,
team,
that I don't know. There must not have been like
even though
much
they
to
got
put in.
even though they got turned around and fisted for 60 minutes against Tennessee, the last time they played.
Yep.
So, whatever.
Yep.
I don't really care though. We're in the teams that I don't give a shit about really right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Number 23, Florida State. They're 6-3. They have a huge win against LSU. That's what's like really boosting the resume.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised they're not a
Who did
bit
they just play
higher.
last week? Did they play last week? Oh, yeah, they beat Miami, right? Was it Miami?
Was it? Yeah, they held them to 3 points.
Yep.
All right, like,
Yeah,
so that's it. Number 22, UCF. They are 7-2.
doing well. I think they have a big game coming up or something.
They probably
I think they
do.
play Tulane because I think, Every Given Saturday is going there this week.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. So that'll be a really good game. Might actually have to
Yeah,
watch that.
yeah, UCF Tulane 22 and 16
One of
in the
them's gonna
AP.
get, well, especially with UCF. UCF will get a good little bump if they beat them.
They beat Tulane, yeah.
Yeah,
They'll
Tulane may not move up much, but like UCF definitely would if they won.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Illinois,
Ooh, they lost. Who'd they lose to? Was
they
it
just
Penn
lost.
State?
It was definitely Penn
It
State.
was Penn State.
No,
I
it was
thought
Michigan
so.
State.
Oh, it was
It was
Michigan State.
Michigan
I remember
State,
it was a state team. I just couldn't remember who.
which Michigan State's terrible this year, so it's not a good loss.
Oh no, it's terrible
23 to
loss.
15 Michigan State.
Illinois' offense, they're just better. They'd be maybe undefeated right now. Who knows? And here we go. Number 20, Notre Dame at 6-3. They're appearing in the polls after just demolishing Clemson.
They did, they blew them out bad. So that just proves that there's really not a good team in the ACC, I don't
No,
think.
no.
So
There's a bunch of okay teams. There's not one great team. Not
there's a lot of
nowhere near elite.
mediocrity.
Yeah.
That's like the one word to describe the ACC right now.
All right, number 19, Kansas State, who did they just lose or was that 2 weeks ago?
They
Now I'm getting
just
it mixed up.
lost to Texas, I
They
think.
did. Okay, that's why Texas is above them. Okay, I could not remember if that game was this week or if they'd already played. They
Yeah,
lost to
that was the
Texas. Oh,
5th.
yeah, 'cause that's Adrian Martinez. They made him fumble on the last play or the last
Yep,
like chance for Kansas State to score.
yep.
And they're right above them. Texas at number 18. They're climbing
They're climbing
quickly.
fast,
And you know
which I
what's
see.
coming up? TCU is this weekend. If Texas
Oh,
wins
yeah,
that,
they
dude,
play
they're
them this
gonna
weekend.
skyrocket. They'll probably be what, near the top 10 with three
Probably be
losses.
14, 13.
I say they'd go up for sure. And I bet
Yeah,
TCU would tumble. I think TCU would still stay above them because I mean they literally have two less losses. But I'm not sure. I don't know what they do.
but yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense where they're at, right above Kansas State.
Yeah,
I
yeah, it
don't
makes
see
perfect
them.
sense. Number
Uh,
17, Tulane, 8-1.
Fine again. I mean, the best G5 team probably we'll find
Yeah,
out this
surprisingly, I don't
weekend
know
if
if
they
anyone
are.
thought I remember everyone thought it was gonna be Houston. Houston has not looked good this season.
Yeah, the I haven't really watched Tulane play much, obviously, because they've been kinda under my radar, but that's not true. I just avoid them because of their
Yeah, it's
logo.
pretty busy, so I didn't really
Very
watch any games this weekend. I watched the OU one, and that was about it. Unless there's a game on at the same time that I flipped to.
Yeah, I
All
watched a little bit
right.
of OSU, but
Oh yeah, I did watch. Yeah, I flipped to that 'cause they're on at the same time, so I did look at that a little bit. Yeah, they fell out, by the way. I guess we could have talked about teams that fell out, but they definitely did. They're on a 3-game losing streak, right? Like, I think they're undefeated and then they have lost 3 in
No,
a row.
they
Oh,
they
did
they
they? No,
lost,
they,
then they beat Texas,
yeah,
and
they
then they
beat
lost.
Texas. Okay. Yeah, if they would have lost Texas, they'd be like losing. That would be really bad. 4-game losing streak.
Yeah.
Injuries have just caught up to them finally.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yep. Six,
NC State at
yep.
16, the Wolfpack. I don't see that as a bad spot for them, I guess. I think, yeah, I mean, the second best team in the ACC. Well, I guess if you want to count Clemson, but Clemson's also mediocre. So I guess Clemson being up there and then North Carolina. I think that's a fine order for all the ACC teams, anyways.
Do Clemson, North Carolina play each other in the regular season, or would it be in the championship game? I wonder.
Um, well, both their losses right now are to Notre Dame, both
Is
North
it
Carolina.
really?
Well, yes, yeah, it is.
Clemson does not play North Carolina in the regular season.
Different division.
Are they in a different division? Like, I don't know the divisions in the ACC as well.
I'll check it real quick, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'd assume they're in different divisions.
I mean, they have to be if they
Or
don't
they just pick
play,
'em. Yeah, right.
unless they already did play and I just
ACC.
forgot. No.
Yeah. Yeah, Atlantic is Clemson and Coastal's North
Okay, so
Carolina.
they may play each other in the championship game.
Yep.
All
They
right, who do
very
we
well
have
may.
next? What is it? Oh,
So,
Penn State. Oh,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say, is NC State probably the 3rd best team in the ACC then,
I
would you
mean,
say?
rankings, right? I believe they lost their
Rankings-wise.
starting quarterback for the season.
Was that Devin Leary?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's still out, but they've been winning. They just beat somebody, I think. I think it was the
Oh, they
Orange.
definitely beat someone. Yeah, because they would have
No, no, it was
dropped.
Wake. It was Wake. That's why. That's why they're
Yeah,
better right now.
Wake's on a pretty bad losing streak. They also dropped out.
Yep. Okay, North Carolina next. Only one loss.
Yeah,
Only
the
one
Notre
loss,
Dame.
and it's to Notre Dame. Just yeah, another
So
Notre
them
Dame's
Clemson
kinda
share a
owning the
common
ACC.
loss, but I guess they consider Clemson's wins better.
Like, way better. Look how much higher Clemson's ranked. I think that's a pedigree thing than more than it is just a I don't know North Carolina's schedule, though. I know they have
They've had some
really
close
good.
games against not very good teams, but so has Clemson. So
So, really, what is it? What's the difference? Yeah, okay. But I think 15's fine, right above NC State. I mean, for 8-1, though, I don't know. I feel like Penn State and Utah could probably would beat them, though, too, so
yep.
I know rankings aren't about who would beat who, but they're more about the record and stuff and schedule and a bunch of other bullshit, but I don't know. I think North Carolina's good where they're at. This has been, like, pretty agreeable for so far.
Usually the bottom is. It's always the top that is the
Yeah.
issue. Are you ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right, 14, Penn State. They are 7-2. They had just beat Indiana. Obviously, not an impressive win. I don't know.
No.
I feel like they're too high. So, like, I'm saying they're so high because they lost the number what 2 and 3 team, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, their
They
only
don't
2
have any
losses
good
are to
wins, right?
Tennessee.
Like, that's the issue. I don't think they have a solid win yet.
Penn? Probably not. They lose their big games every time. They're
No,
like
no, they haven't beat a ranked team. I mean,
they're like, what, 1-10 against, like, big
oh,
top
I'm
3
sure.
teams?
Yeah. They had the one against Ohio State in like 2016, I believe. It was like the whiteout game at Penn State.
Minnesota is probably the best team they beat so far.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Yeah, 45 something. I guess it's a decent little win. How much Minnesota 4-3? Oh, that positive record. I guess that's an okay win, but
They've got a great running back,
yeah.
Minnesota does. But, yeah, they just beat Nebraska too, so I think Minnesota I was gonna say Minnesota's probably gonna win the West, but they've got 3 losses in
Yeah.
conference.
Buying the West is kind of bad though, so
Yeah. Illinois might win the West, it looks like. Anyways, Utah.
yep, number 13 Utah, they're 7-2. They just beat Arizona relatively convincingly. So I mean I'm fine with Utah
Arizona.
being there. They beat USC.
Yeah, their only losses are to UCLA and
Who is
who's
their
your
other
other
loss?
loss?
Oregon is Oregon.
No, they don't play. They play Oregon
Did they?
in 2
Oh.
weeks.
Oh, I'm thinking UCLA's lost because you said UCLA. Who did they lose to? Oh, Florida. Lost to
Florida at the
Florida the
beginning
first
of the
game of the season.
season.
That's why I couldn't think
Right.
of it.
That's right.
Which that's a bad loss. That is a very bad loss. Even if it was like right at the end of the game, that's a bad loss.
Yeah, Florida's not
Florida's not
good.
good.
Okay, UCLA above Utah makes sense.
Oh yeah, makes perfect sense. Yep, number 12, UCLA. They're 8-1. Obviously, I got to restate like I did last week. USC and UCLA should have their spots flipped. UCLA beat the team that beat USC, and UCLA lost to the number 6 team in the country.
Yeah, there's no reason
And
USC
Southern
should be
Cal
winning
struggled
that.
again. They beat Cal by one. Like it wasn't even a touchdown. It was 6 points. It was 2 field goals. Their
Yeah.
defense is like really bad right now. USC's is.
Yeah, I don't see why SoCal is not where UCLA. I don't see 'em any reason why they shouldn't be swamped.
Yep. I don't know if it'll sort itself out, but like I said, I don't care if it sorts itself out. You got to
It
care
will
about
sort
the
itself out
ranking, but it will sort itself out.
because they play very soon.
Yeah, there's only 3 weeks left of the regular season, so everyone's gonna play each other soon.
The 19th, November 19th, mark your
The
calendar.
next
That's a
week.
big day for the Pac-12 because I think that's also when Oregon and Utah play. So,
Yeah, I could get crazy quick in the Pac-12.
yeah. All right. Yeah.
All right,
Ole
number
Miss.
11, Ole Miss. They did not
Ole
play.
Miss.
They had a bye week.
Ole Miss did not play, but the last game they did play was a close win against Texas A&M right after they got blown out by LSU
Yeah, they play
in Baton
Alabama
Rouge.
soon. So if Mississippi or Ole Miss can win out, they'll get second in the West unless LSU helps them out and loses. Oh yeah, by the way, we'll talk
Right.
about when we get to them because we got some crazy stuff to talk about. Anything
Yes.
else about Ole Miss?
They play Alabama this weekend, so
Yeah, yeah, that'll pretty much determine like more than likely who's gonna get second in the West.
yeah,
Obviously,
that's the
Alabama
fight
has to
for
win to even have
second.
a chance to make it to the
Yeah.
SEC championship. Here it
Yes.
is, number 10 Clemson tumbling down what 6 spots,
Ooh,
I believe,
6
after getting
spots.
blown out by Notre Dame. Honestly, they should have fell more. You get blown out
Yeah,
by an unranked team, like, and
get
you'll drop
blown out.
6 spots.
You
I
look and
feel
you
like
see them struggle
some
all
people
year.
drop more spots when they lose to ranked teams in a close game.
I'd probably put them towards the bottom of the 8 of, like, the one-loss teams, except maybe Tulane, so I'd put them somewhere around, like,
What,
North
15 or
Carolina,
so? Yeah.
14 to somewhere between 14 and 16, not 10.
Yeah, that would be a
So I
big
think they're
draw, but I mean, that's what happens when you get blown out by an unranked team.
'cause I think they are among probably the worst of the one-loss teams.
Yep.
They just look good because they're surrounded by other bad ACC teams right now.
Yeah, throw them into the SEC or even the Big 12. I think they would have a couple losses in the Big 12, how crazy the Big 12 is.
Yeah,
All right, we're
yeah.
getting here's where the controversy really starts. Clemson was like the tip of the iceberg. Now we're just going to get deep into it on pretty much every team. There's a couple, but about every team we're probably going to have an issue with. We're at number 9, Alabama, who has lost again.
I don't see any reason for them to be in the top 10. I think we talked about this in the AP one anyways, like,
Yeah, we did.
right out of the top 10 is, I think, a better spot for them, like 11. Like
They
11.
don't have like really any. They don't have any super impressive wins for sure. I don't even know if they have any really impressive wins
They have a ranked win over Texas
over
right now,
Texas. Yeah,
and I think that's, like, about
who their
it.
starting quarterback got knocked out, by the way, or they more than likely would have lost.
Yeah. Yeah, Quinn didn't play much beyond the first
Yeah,
quarter.
they got to get out of the top 10. They're just trying to keep that top 10 streak alive.
Yep. Well, if they lose to Ole Miss, they'll be out of it, and Ole
They'll
Miss.
drop one spot to 10.
Oh god.
No, they wouldn't. They'd drop, but it still wouldn't be that big. They'd probably drop to like what 15 max, probably.
Yeah, that's probably the farthest down they'd go. All
because
right.
they're the only two-loss team in the top 10 that has like no super impressive wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all right, number 8, USC, 8-1. I already talked about that. Them and UCLA should be flopped. I don't know what I want to do, but I don't know if I'd put. I don't know. I don't like. There's no good teams after number 7, really. Like, it's just a mishmash of teams that I don't want anyone in the top. Like, there should just be no one at 8, 9, and 10, then no one else gets 11 through 25. Because like I
Yeah.
feel like USC isn't a top 10 team. Alabama's not, and Clemson's not, but no one below them is either. Is the issue.
Yeah. Yeah. I have
UCLA maybe.
no
UCLA has like pretty decent. UCLA
UCLA.
maybe.
Okay.
They've had some pretty good wins. They've blown out quite a few people.
Yeah. Yeah. UCLA does have some good wins.
We're getting into the juicy stuff now.
Yes.
Number 7, LSU, just coming off a win at home against Alabama.
Against Alabama in overtime.
Yep.
They went for 2 and got it. It's a good win for Brian Kelly after going however long it was at Notre Dame without winning big games,
Yeah.
in postseason and bowl games, losing you look at their bowl record, it's
Maybe he
terrible.
showed why he needed to leave Notre Dame. He couldn't get the
Yeah.
athletes he wanted.
So that's a big win for Brian Kelly and LSU, and now they're at number
And their
7 for it,
recruiting
which
is going crazy.
I think 7's where Alabama was, so makes
I
sense to
think
put
they're
them where Alabama was.
6.
Were they
Pretty sure
6?
Alabama was 6. I guess I can check. I
Okay,
have the other one pulled up. Alabama was 6. TCU was 7.
okay, okay. Well, I think I was thinking of the AP. I think the AP had him at
Yeah, and
7.
so they were looking at so many different polls. Different coaches pull one just to make it more confusing.
7's not a bad spot when you beat
No, beat a
a
top 10
program like
team.
Alabama.
They got blown out, but it's by a top 5 team. The loss to Florida State isn't good, but at least they're ranked. They're both losses are to ranked teams.
Yeah.
So I find them being the highest 2-loss team. I think they deserve it.
I think they are the best 2-loss team on here, it looks
Yep.
like.
All right, number 6, Oregon. They are 8-1.
8-1, still rolling
Oh yeah,
after that
after
loss
that
at the
loss to
beginning of the year to
Georgia,
Georgia.
they're going.
Is it that they're better, or is it just that Georgia is that good?
I mean, Georgia is that good. I think
I
they'd
think
score
it's just
more against Georgia if they played today, even though Georgia
but
technically is better than they were when they played,
yeah.
but so is Oregon.
I still even then, I still think it'd be 2 or 3 touchdown game most
Oh, at
likely.
least, yes. But it would not be like, was it 49-3 or
49 to
something
3,
something
beat 'em by
crazy.
150 points. Yeah,
Yeah.
not gonna happen again, but it'd still be probably 2 or 3 touchdown game.
Yep. But 2 or 3 is better. If you were lost by 2 or 3, guess what? You'd be in the playoff hunt. But I think even if you're in the Pac-12, they're gonna be like 49-3 to Georgia.
Yep. It's gonna be hard if you're Oregon to get in
Yep. Yeah,
after what you
if you're
did
a
the first
Pac-12
game of
fan and
the
want a
season.
team in, you want USC or UCLA to win out. More than
Yeah.
likely USC with how highly they're ranked right now. So you'd
Yeah.
want USC to win out,
Yep.
and they'd more than likely get in unless all these teams stay undefeated. I know Ohio State and Michigan have to play each other, but I feel like they may even get an odd. Would have to see. But all right, number 5, Tennessee. They lost to Georgia in Athens.
It wasn't even really close.
I think that's where their stadium is, something like that. That might be where the neutral site one was at, actually. But yeah, they lost to Georgia at Georgia. The score made it look closer than it actually was. It wasn't even close. I'm shocked that they dropped out of the top 4, honestly.
They should've,
Yeah, they
but
should have,
it
but
is
I was
shocking that
shocked
they
they
actually dropped
did.
them.
I think number 5 is
Yeah,
perfect. That's probably where I would have put them.
that's
I
where I'd
thought
put them
they would
too.
have dropped to 3, 4 at worst. But I'm completely
Yeah,
fine with 5.
5's great. That's actually
So
a
if
very
Georgia
good
wins
spot.
out and TCU drops the game, Tennessee's probably getting the nod. Um,
Yeah,
they'll
probably,
probably get the nod
probably.
over about any team that has a similar record. They
It's
definitely
gonna
get the
be
nod over
interesting.
Oregon.
Do you think? Yeah, well, it's gonna be a conference champ Oregon with 1 loss or a non-conference champ, 1 loss Tennessee.
I know they play more competitive with Georgia, is why I think they might give them the nod and their SEC, obviously.
It'll be interesting to see if they actually explain it. They usually
Oh no, they'll be like,
don't do a good job at it.
we got to find a metric real quick that helps Tennessee. They'll go with the
Yeah.
margin of victory or something. No, Oregon has a pretty good margin of victory. I just don't know if it's as good as Tennessee's. With how bad Oregon lost, that really brought it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, here it is. The top four, the big one. Number four, TCU. They're up 3 spots. They are 9-0 with a game against Texas looming that they're a 1 touchdown underdog in, by the way.
Yep, they are a 1 touchdown dog.
They needed another fourth quarter comeback against Texas Tech.
It's
They
every
didn't have their
game.
best. I believe it was their wide receiver wasn't in the game, so at least they had an excuse this time.
Is that
I'll
Quentin
give them
Johnson?
that.
Was
Yes,
Quentin not playing?
he's a wide receiver, right? I
Yes,
feel
or
like he
he's a
has to be a wide receiver, but I don't know. I saw he's like their best player, and he was out.
yeah, what happened to him?
I don't know. I don't know if he was out the whole game or if he got injured. I'm assuming he got injured. I just don't know how late into the game it was.
Yeah, he's a wideout, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they didn't have him for I'd assume at least half the game, if not most of it.
Quentin
I'm shocked
Johnson.
they're at 4. They deserve to be.
They deserve to be, I'm
It
glad they're
shows
there.
that if they went out there in the playoffs, because you can't drop by winning out. It's not
Yeah,
gonna happen.
an
So,
undefeated but I think that is their only chance, and Texas is in the perfect position to play spoiler for the entire
but
Big
if they
12.
beat Texas, I mean, shoot,
But if they beat
they may
Texas
finish at number 3 in the final rankings if they can win
yeah,
out.
if they can beat Texas, because Committee loves Texas.
If they went
Committee
out,
loves
would they
Texas.
get number 3 or 2, you think?
I don't know. I mean, they might. I because like you
Because
said, Ohio State and Michigan have to
there's
play
only
each
gonna
other,
be
so
at
one of
most
them's
3
gonna have a loss.
undefeated teams at the end. Georgia,
Right.
Ohio State, or Michigan, and TCU. So you'd put them at TCU above whoever's 4, which would be a 1 or 2 loss team, I'd assume. I'm assuming they'd get 3 because if they got they'd have to have Ohio State, Michigan, and Georgia lose a game too. You know,
Yeah.
they won't go above an undefeated Georgia, Ohio State, or Michigan, but
But if they lose this
they're
weekend, there's
done.
no chance. Big 12 will not be in the playoffs this year.
No. Like I said, TCU, they want 2 or 3 so bad. You want to get 2 or 3. At least have a chance of beating someone at 2 or 3 and they get blown out in the national championship. Like, just try to do it.
Yeah.
You don't want
Yes.
number 4. Whoever gets number 4, you're just signing their death warrant.
If they get 4 the week before or yeah, yeah, if they get 4 on selection day, they have to play Georgia. If they get 4 the week before selection day, there's a pretty good chance they could get someone else could get the nod. It's
I just
hard.
realized we're not going to know if they move up past 4 because Ohio State Michigan's the last game of the season, so we won't know until
Ooh,
the
we
final
won't know
rankings.
until selection day.
But obviously they're gonna go up because Ohio State Michigan is gonna take a loss. Like if TCU wins out, they're guaranteed to get 3 at worst. There's no way someone's gonna go higher than them because 2 teams above them play each other, and they're not gonna just not move at all.
Well,
Like
if they win this weekend, they're on really good
they'd get a
pace.
quality win. They won't move up, but
No,
unless one
but
of
they're
them
on pace to
loses,
win out. I think the only other game after that that, like, matters
all they have
is
to do is win out and they're in. It's
Baylor.
that easy. They're in control of their destiny. They weren't last week. They are this week.
They
If
are
you
because
went
'cause they're
out,
in there
you're in
now.
the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. If someone says it is, they're just trying to get views because it's impossible to be an undefeated Power 5 champion and not make the playoffs. Everyone always acts like it's
Yeah.
going to happen, and then it never happens. It's never even been
No,
close, really.
they'll put them in if they're undefeated, and winning this weekend's a big step in that
Because if you
direction.
go undefeated in a Power 5 conference, I don't care if it's the ACC, you're getting in. I mean, why are you playing the games if you don't get in?
Right.
Because then if you're in the ACC, like, well, if I went out and I don't get in, why in the world am I even playing? So yeah, TCU's in. They'll get, I'd assume at worst number 3 because 2 teams above them play. So if you went out, you're probably getting 3, and you'll have a chance to win a playoff game for the Big 12, which would be the first time the Big 12's won a playoff game. Like I think OU's the only team in the Big
So
12 to
OU's the
ever
only
make
one
it,
that's gotten in, and they
and
always
they
lost
always
in the
get
playoffs.
they got in at 4 every season except for the season they're at 2, and they barely lost to Georgia. But every other
Yeah,
season they got in at 4, and it wasn't very good. I
and they got
believe. I
blown
think
out.
that's how it was.
They got blown out by LSU.
Yeah, they
They got
lost to
blown yeah.
LSU, Alabama. Um, Georgia, obviously,
Yep.
and the other time they got in was in like 2015. They lost to Clemson. I don't know what they were ranked at the time, but they lost to
Mm.
Clemson in 2015. But all right, I guess we'll move on. We had a lot to talk about. I'd say, yeah, TCU, good job. You're in the playoffs if you went out. It's that simple.
Yes.
Will you win out? Probably
It's
not.
tough.
If you win this weekend, I'll give you a lot better chance. So if you just will win this
Yeah,
weekend,
'cause
I'll give you a lot better
just
chance.
quickly gonna look at their schedule
I
because
know it's
Texas is
Texas
like
and
their last
Baylor are
big
both
game.
away, and then I don't know who the other team is.
It's Texas, Baylor, and then Iowa State at home to
Uh,
finish it.
could you imagine if they beat Texas and Baylor and lose to Iowa State at home?
It'd be terrible, wouldn't it? It'd be terrible. We'll see though. I think if they can beat Texas, it's pretty much
I will say if TCU makes playoff, it'll actually be interesting. So I'm like, what are they gonna do? Like they haven't looked that good all year. They looked pretty good, but not like a playoff team. Like I just want to see what happens.
I do too. All right, let's get
All
off
right. Yep.
TCU now. I think that's everything about them.
Yeah. So we had to talk about obviously because we like the Big 12 more than other conferences, at least for now.
You
Um.
do for now, yeah.
Yeah, I do for now. Number 3, Michigan, 9-0. Oh yeah, this is the Rutgers. They're down to the Rutgers, and they're like, oh yeah, I guess you should probably play. And then they like never let them score again. It's like 1,000,000 to 7 or something.
That was when they just poured it
Yeah,
on,
they're
yeah.
like, oh yeah, I forgot we need to play, and just completely BTFO'd them in the second. Like that's the most dominant second half from a team that was down. Like they went from
Oh, it
being
was
on upset alert to be to being Rutgers being on blowout alert in about 3 plays. It felt like.
yeah, it was bad. It was terrible.
That's all I got to say, really. So number 2, Ohio State, 9-0, terrible win against Northwestern. They're like 1-8, and you
Yeah,
only beat them by 2 touchdowns.
that's why I would probably swap
Oh
Michigan
yeah,
and
for sure.
Ohio
I guess we can
State.
talk about that. I'm fine with TC being 4. Michigan has to be ahead of Ohio State. There's no reason they shouldn't be.
I think the only reason they're not is because their non-con games were like the 3 worst,
Yeah.
uh, group of 5 teams you could possibly play, and that's holding them back. But recently, Michigan's looked a lot better than Ohio State has, so,
Yep.
like,
And
really
I'm
all
sure if
year.
you look at common opponents, they're probably pretty similar in terms of run differential. I don't know if
Penn
Michigan
State
plays
if you look at Penn
Northwestern.
State, Michigan blew them out and Ohio State barely beat them, so
Yep.
I would swap them. But other than that, yeah, it's fine. And then Georgia at number 1 just is
Makes
makes
sense.
perfect
They're
sense.
not gonna lose number 1 unless they lose, obviously.
They just dominated Tennessee for 60 minutes. Wasn't even close.
Nope, it was not even close.
Sacked Hendon Hooker somewhere around like 389 times, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad. He had no time to throw.
Had his face in the dirt all game. It was terrible for
If
Tennessee.
that game was at Tennessee, do you think the score's a little different? Do you think it's actually closer?
Uh, I don't know. Maybe. I think crowd does play a factor, obviously,
Georgia
and
was loud. Like I would not want to play there.
that's what I'm saying. I think crowd did play a factor in it, and maybe, but I still think they would have won by over a touchdown, even if it was at Tennessee.
Okay, okay. I think it would have been at least a tiny bit more competitive. Maybe not a lot. I don't think it would change the outcome of the game. That'd be a big swing, but Georgia
Yeah.
was insanely loud. I guess that's it. Any final opinions on anything we didn't talk about in this
No, I
top
will say
25?
that this is probably one of the more agreeable playoff rankings I've seen
Honestly, yes.
in
There's
recent
not.
years.
I will say there's not any egregious ones. I just think
There's not really just
USC and UCLA should swap. Alabama should be a bit
in
lower. Clemson should be lower.
Michigan and Ohio State swap. Like,
Honestly, I
that's it.
guess I'm fine with Ole Miss being 11. I wasn't last week, but now that everyone's like losing, I'm like, well, maybe they do need to be. I'd probably.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah, yeah. I guess I'm fine with it. Yeah. Texas is climbing the rankings quickly if they wouldn't have had some of their stupid losses. That they should have won the OSU game. With how bad OSU's been playing, they should have won.
Yep.
But Quinn Ewers had like his worst game ever.
Yep.
But in terms of big games this weekend, we got TCU and Texas. Huge Big 12 game. It has you may see a repeat of this game in the Big 12 title game. Maybe if Texas wins. If Texas
If
wins, it's like a very, very high percent chance that TCU and Texas will rematch each other.
in the title game, yeah.
Yep.
Anything else big this week? LSU plays Arkansas.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say I was gonna do it and I forgot. If LSU beats Arkansas, they win the West no matter what. They
Yeah.
secure the West. So if LSU wins, Alabama's playoff hopes are gone. Doesn't matter what they do, they might as well just lose every game because they won't make it.
Louisville plays Clemson. Louisville's been kind of on the up.
Yeah, yeah, that could be an interesting game. Is Louisville? No, they're not. I'm saying that with 3 losses is why.
They beat Pitt, they beat Wake, they beat James Madison. Now they play Clemson, so we'll see how Louisville does. Because they're on the rise right now. We'll see. That's another big-ish game. Uh, Alabama and Ole Miss, obviously, fighting for second in the West. UCF and Tulane's a big game. Washington and Oregon's kind of good. North Carolina and Wake. See if North Carolina can stay ranked.
Yeah.
TCU and Texas.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest one this weekend, honestly. Well, is it
Yeah.
anything like is it on like anything crazy? I don't think it is.
It is a prime time game. It's 6:30.
Yeah, but it's not actually like a college game day or anything, right? Where are they
No.
going?
College game day? Oh hell, where are they
Yeah.
going?
Oh, it's CCU at Texas. Okay,
Okay, so
that
college
makes
game day is
sense.
going.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
That makes sense.
I felt like it had to be because it's like the only really big game this weekend. Well, good
Yeah.
job, you guys get. Is this the second? No, the TCU had the big noon kickoff last week. Now they get college game day. They get both of the big ones.
Yep.
Good job, TCU. Just went out. If you lose, then everyone's gonna forget about you very quickly. I can promise you that.
But if you win out, you're the Big 12's last hope to get in the playoffs
May get the
this
first
year.
win for the conference.
Yeah, and maybe
But I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it.
that is it.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. It's pretty mild. They really fixed a lot of the issues, mainly because the teams lost.
Yep.
But I guess that's it. So if you guys liked it, please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you guys when the new AP poll comes out.